Good morning. Only really the one play yesterday for me, and that was to take advantage of a red card second half. It's a really good angle. Spanish ladies. Why is it a good angle? Because you know if it's 0-0 at half time, one side's been red carded. If this side scores, the draw odds will rise to about 10s or 12s. So you'll get a really good odds move. You get a near 100% profit there. A modest gain, but it's all relative to the amount risked, of course. The more you risk, the more you will win. But the more you risk, the more you will lose. It's all dependent on the size of your betting bank. But if this was a £400 liability, that would be £120 profit. If this was an £80 liability, that would be 24 quid. So it's all relative to the amount risked. That was really my only play yesterday. Nice to see Zambia. They gave Australia a good go, but Germany far too efficient. USA thoroughly deserved the win against Australia. They were standout stats-wise, so you might want to keep an eye on the USA women. They look to be really strong candidates, and this is a good result at 1.53 odds as well. In Europe, there wasn't much to really grab my attention at all. Midtjylland get the win, but they didn't need to win. By default, really, they got the goal after the red card, playing against an Andorran side, highly likely to score. 3-0 defeat. We've got a few of those today. Emphatic leads from the first leg. Just be very careful that they don't need to win. So let's have a look at that today. Tennis-wise yesterday, I didn't really do anything. But there was one standout, I suppose, and that was Angelique Kerber, who's been really knocking it out the park in the Olympics. She started off by beating Naomi Osaka. Won against Zheng in the first set, but this Zheng is a world number 7 for a reason. Not to lose in 2 straight sets to someone 200 plus in the rankings. She went on and won. So that was the main play yesterday. It was the only real play I could suss out. Well done to Collins taking a set off Iga Swiatek, but alas, retiring early. She must have taken a swim in the River Seine. Rublev continuing along his merry way, dropped the first set, won the second, won the third at 1.25. And as I say, if they're on hard and they're in the USA, then I suspect they will be giving 100% because that is the conditions for the next Grand Slam tournament. Rublev and his very, very famous outbursts. Karen Khachanov, I don't know what was up with Karen. He's normally ultra reliable. Maybe jet lag. I don't know. There's always a reason. I think I might have been tempted in with this Hong. Certainly with the rankings. And it was all over in the first set, in the first 2. It took until, well, 4-3. And then it couldn't break. I think this was down to jet lag for Karen Khachanov because ordinarily he would have this bloke for breakfast. So there must have been something up there. It would probably have been a losing trade had I got involved. Mr. Reliable, usually, Karen Khachanov. Looking at the tennis first, the Olympics continues. Zverev has impressed, but he's playing Musetti, who took the scalp of Taylor Fritz in 2 straight sets yesterday. This 1.44 for Zverev is far too short. I would not be backing that. I think his odds will rise in play. I don't even think he will win in 2 straight sets. I think Musetti is riding high on form and confidence. When you can beat Taylor Fritz in 2 straight sets, it's a really good marker. That's for sure. So I would be looking at taking on Alexander Zverev, particularly if he wins the first set. Alcaraz's odds are over 1.1, which is noticeable, suggesting Taro Paul, again, very tight. Well, very low in the rankings. Taro Paul, 13th. By low, I mean low number. Casper Ruud and Algo Reliciem got 3-setter written all over it. Djokovic and Tsitsipas, this could be one where Djokovic is vulnerable. He has been vulnerable all season. Stefanos Tsitsipas, at his best, could take a set off Novak. Again, we've got the hard court continuing today. No real standout plays for me. Hong unknown factor here, but how long can he continue taking scalps? He's playing Mickelson, who looks like one of the blokes from Happy Days, friend of Fonzie's. So I don't know if Hong will continue along his merry way. Tennessee Kokonakis, mate. Where's me strides, mate? Yeah. Where are me badgy stragglers, mate? He's playing Korda today, 22nd in the world. Kokonakis is making his comeback. It's a long road, but he's improving. That would be it, really. Frances Tiafoe could be a three-setter, particularly if Kovacic wins the first set. I think Tiafoe will have a good chance here. Iga Swiatek in the Olympics, 108. She just doesn't breach that 1.1. Zheng got that win yesterday for Zheng, coming from behind against Kerber. This is a top 7 clash, so I don't think it's going to be easy sailing for Iga Swiatek today. I think she could be labelled with winning the first set. At least you're going to get very, very short odds indeed. Nothing much doing in the ladies' game in the US, but don't forget they are on the correct surface. Victoria Azarenka against Wang. At 20th. Wow, she's maintained some longevity, hasn't she, Azarenka? Still only 20th in the world rankings. Quite superb. She's been going for a long time. Football today. Well, let's have a look. And it's take your cues from the first leg of results. I'll only look at the Europa League. I won't look at the Conference League. 1-0 lead for Elfsberg. So this is wide open. Don't forget what Sheriff did against Real Madrid all those years ago. Silkeborg and Mulder. 1-3 lead for Mulder. So they can afford a 1-0 defeat. Not a 2-0 defeat, because that would be an aggregate draw. Braga, I think, comfortable win. 0-2. And this isn't being played at Maccabi Petah Tikva's home venue. So that even further advantages Braga. Trabzonspor, I think, comfortable win first leg, 2-0. Botev Plovdiv against Panathinaikos, 1-2 for Pana. This is wide open. This is Botev must score the first goal. Cercle Brugge against Kilmarnock, 1-1 from the first leg. I don't think Kilmarnock will get through, I'm afraid. The SPL sides tend to be caught out, the weakness of the league. Rijeka and Hunadora is a 0-0 from the first leg. Unknown quantity, Hunadora. Big question mark about them, but the market's emphatic. Ajax, just a 1-0 win against Vojvodina in the first leg. That is vulnerable. But they are, well, they're a European side, aren't they? But they are a selling side, as I keep saying every season. They tend to dismantle the old, flog the stars, and have to bring in from the academy and rebuild. Rapid Vienna against Wisla, 2-1. I'm not going to go through all of the Europa Conference League. They're also second leg results. Second legs today. So that's your cue to work off. I will react in play, particularly if it's an underdog scoring first. And then we open it up, have a look at the aggregates. 1-2 to Zalgiris. So Paphos must score the first goal. This is what I like, this kind of configuration. What we saw with Austria Vienna yesterday. Got an odds-on favourite at home who need to score the first goal. That's what I tend to look for. So let's have a look through some of these. Odds-on favourite at home, 1-1. So again, that fits the criteria for me. Ararat, 3-0 lead, comfortable as you like, and they're odds-on at home. So it's just a weaker country playing a better side. Bravo, 2-0, 1-0 lead. And we'll go to a few others that we might recognise. St. Gallen against Tobol from Kazakhstan. Yek Shemesh, 1-4 lead. So they can afford a 2-0 defeat today, St. Gallen. Watch out, you saw Midtjylland yesterday. They only got the 1-0 win after the red card. They weren't looking like scoring at all, but they had an emphatic first leg lead, as indeed does St. Gallen. Transinvest. I wonder if there are... I'm not going to mention trans in this particular commentary. Transinvest against Mlada Boleslav, 0-2 lead. So the Transinvest side have to score the first 2 goals. AEK Athens should be a comfortable lead from the first leg. No, it's not. 3-4. So Inter Escaldes with a shock, 3 goals against a 1.06 shot. So that's, well, one of them was an own goal, the other was a penalty. So looking at it a little deeper, very lucky indeed to make it 4-3. It's more realistically 4-1, which is in keeping with the 1.06. So you can expect 110% cover every blade of grass, AEK Athens today. That one will certainly get on the notebook. They are the better side by a country mile, because that should have been a 4-1 lead, shouldn't it? Go Ahead Eagles are playing Brann. Copenhagen, familiar names, got us a nice trade at the weekend, playing the Magpies. Already an emphatic 3-0 lead. They don't need to win. A 0-0 will do for Copenhagen. So that 105 is very layable indeed. Djurgården, familiar names, should be far too good. And indeed, we've already got a 0-3 lead from the first leg. KUPS, one of our reliables, got us a nice trade the other day. 1-0 to Tromsø. I wouldn't be dismissive of KUPS just yet. But we will see. The market's not liking them at all. All hail to the ale. Hapoel Beersheva, normally quite good in Europe, but this is a 0-0 currently. I think they could pull this one off, but the market cannot split these two sides. It's too tough to call. So lots of familiar names. Shelbourne against Zurich. I think this is a Zurich lead, is it? 0-3 Zurich lead. So Shelbourne must score the first 3 goals. They're not expected to today. St Mirren, they're going to be out of their depth against Valor. 0-0 from the first leg. All to play for. St Mirren, quite good at home last season in the SPL. I've done the research for the weekend matches in the SPL starting on the 3rd of August. I think St Mirren are playing. Hajduk Split should have got the win, 0-2 against Tórshavn. So we've got the same problem as yesterday. Got some emphatic first leg leads. Now, I don't think there's any Olympics today. No Olympics football today. So it'll be Europa Conference League. I might not be up for the very, very late ones, but I'll certainly be up for the 3 o'clock kickoffs onwards. So we'll get a nice set of fixtures. In-play stats will play a very, very important role. And if you want a free in-play stats feed, totalcorner.com. Its main advantage, you go to today's list and click on that. Its main advantage is you've got all the matches on the one page. And you can flick up and down. The negative, the shots on target, they can be found here, which is you don't want to be going to a separate page for the shots on target. But this is what you pay for. It's free, so you're not going to get all of the benefits of a paid-for feed. But this is the best one. If you wanted to have a look for free in-play stats scanner, see what you can find. As you know, members of footballtradingprofits.com, we like In-Play Guru and soccerscanner.net as a secondary in-play stats scanner. That's only a tenner a month. So if you're on a budget, it's brilliant. We've got a free football scanner from Kickoff Profits. So do please, free in-play stats scanner, have a look. Let's just press this one, see what happens. Well, I'm not going to log in front of you just yet, but if you're looking for a free in-play stats scanner, just Google it. Click on some of these. I can't vouch for them, I'm afraid. I use paid-for stats scanners. There's an in-play pressure scanner from Corner Pro Bet, Trader's Edge as well, WilliamHill.com as well, but that's just for individual matches. So the advantage of Total Corner, you can see all the matches on the one page. WilliamHill.com, you can see individual matches, and they've got shots on target, shots off target, corners. So as you can see, there's no matches on at the moment. So do have a look if you want to save some money on an in-play stats scanner. Try some of these once there's matches on. And if you can get a free trial, by all means, do so. What you're looking for, ideally, well, there's a free one. You're looking for shots on target, shots off target, and corners. That's really all you need. So you need to sign up for this one at Trader's Edge. So have a look. In-play stats will be a vital piece of the jigsaw for this new football season, and it is a vital piece of the jigsaw for the start of the season when we don't actually have any form to work off. Similar story when you've got teams who will ordinarily never ever cross paths. They're from totally different countries, very difficult to gauge, totally different leagues. And the only way really to split these sides is to look at the in-play stats, the shots on, shots off and corners. You've got in-play stats here as well at soccer24.com. You'll see the stats feed come up here once the matches are in play. I don't think there's any live at the moment. I don't think these will have stats. No. But you will get a stats feed for the main standout leagues, maybe for Man United, Betis. Stats here. Okay. It's a tolerable in-play stats feed. 9 goal attempts, 6 on, 3 off, 4 corners. And it's very visual. Anything in red, the side's dominating. So look at first half. Second half, you can see a sudden switch second half. 6 corner kicks to 0. Likely a whole raft of team changes at half time. So if you want to save money and use in-play stats like that, stats feed here at soccer24.com is excellent. So Telegrammers, I'll see you at 4 o'clock onwards. I've been a little quiet tennis-wise. I made the right decision yesterday with Musetti and Fritz. It could have easily been a 3-setter as a 2-setter because that's 2 class acts. Taylor Fritz, just the day before, had a very tough fixture against Jack Draper, which might have taken it out of him for this one. But I would be targeting this, that's for sure. Laying a Zverev lead, I think. Casper Ruud against weaker opponents has struggled. I think he's been dropping sets. So he could be vulnerable today. Algo Aliciem, very hard to read. The Will Smith lookalike. Take your wife's name out of my effing mouth. But let's have a look. 2-1. He's dropped a set against Vavasori, who was a very lowly ranked player. And it was a very good display from Vavasori as far as keeping the Ruud serve in check. But a good win against Kerendulu. But this is a better ranked player. 26, that's pretty handy. But this is a 19. So very tight. And already he's got the beating of 26. So he might fancy it today, Ruud. But he's not yet ultra reliable. He's not your Musetti type. And as I say, Djokovic against Tsitsipas. This is a far better ranked player, 11th. And Novak has been uncharacteristically losing matches of late. When strong favourite, 3-0 defeat to Alcaraz, that's just absolutely standout. This one a 1.0, no, not this one, but a few more. If you go all the way back, Makak. Who on earth is Makak? He's lost 2-1 to him, and he lost 2-0 to Tabilo. So this was very, very short odds as well. 1.07. So he could be vulnerable against a far better player. Don't forget, this is the Olympics. Greece, you've got all of that. Olympus. Inspired Tsitsipas might see a decent performance. I'll be up and around for the early tennis, 12:30, but the main football, probably 3 o'clock kickoff for me. Just the one match at 3 o'clock, I think. And then moving on to the early evening matches for you. Hopefully pick out another profitable trade or two for you. We've had, I think, 3 consecutive days of profit. Let's keep it going. Quality over quantity, I hope, today. So, Telegrammers, footballtradingprofits.com members, I'll see you throughout the day.